洗澡。
Good evening and welcome back to another edition of the Watchpoint Post Show, live from the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles. I'm your humble and gracious host, Malik Forte, joined at the desk, as always, by Zoe Print and Josh, aka Sideshow. We're all done, guys. The week's over. Let's do it. Let's do it. One time. One time. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Week one down. Week one down, guys. It was a good week. It was a good week, man. How you guys feeling about 2-2-2 so far? 2-2-2 roll lock.
Pretty scrappy, honestly.
Yes.
Like, it seems like the teams don't really know. They've forgotten how to play a lot of Overwatch.
Well, they have to rediscover how to play,
Exactly,
right?
right.
What compositions are good. And also, I think the level of consistency with GOATs was so high. Like, if you're actually a good GOATs team, you could just come out and roll lower teams over and over and over again.
Right.
But there's way more opportunity for individuals to pop off in this meta. So the games end up being closer.
Also, in the 3-3 meta, we didn't really see that many subs coming in and out of the game. So not only do they have to rediscover heroes and compositions, they also have to rediscover some teammates, which also happen to be on their
Got
bench.
like Fraggy in the cupboard.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And now he's out of the cupboard.
Yeah, you're right about that. Well, you know someone who's trying to rediscover winning, the Boston Uprising. And today, they had to go against the Chengdu Hunters if they wanted to do that. Going into the second half, it was all tied up. It was 1-1. And Sideshow, you called it. 5-mapper. We got 5 maps.
I did. I wanted it. I desired it. We got it. Blizzard World was a step up for the Chengdu Hunters. It's weird how this series went, honestly, because each of the maps tended to have a very clear team that was dominating the other. Chengdu managed to run it through. They had a difficulty on point C where things started to get a bit more choky. I think that's what you're going to see with Chengdu. The bigger, more open maps certainly favor them. But then they just demolished on this hole.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to what I said at the halftime. Blizzard World, less flanking angles, more opportunities for Chengdu to actually coordinate.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not taking those silly individual 1v1s.
There's a lot of that.
That was in there.
I mean,
yeah.
I was also impressed and annoyed, I guess, both at once, at the amount of different switches we've seen all the damage dealers on. There were a lot of questionable choices amongst them. I wasn't too sold on Jimbo and Sombra, for example. Blase, I loved him on the Mei. I think he did terrifically good on Mei. I was not sold on his Tracer. I'm not sure why he kept on going back to that kind of hero. I want to see him on Doomfist again. Like, this is a hero he excels at. And Jinmo was playing it on the other side. He could have easily also pulled out his Doomfist. He's known for that very hero, and yet we didn't see it.
Great performance though on the fire on the 5th map. Once they actually, it looked like the Boston Uprising were firing, if not on all cylinders, then pretty well. I would say the Color Hex and Blase, maybe Blase only in the final map, but I would say the DPS for Boston generally outperformed the DPS for Chengdu today, which was weird. It was a very cold day for Chengdu.
Which makes it a weird win, I think, as well for Chengdu as well.
Yeah.
They've come into this, it feels like, I mean, I'm looking at Jinmu, I'm looking at Yang Xiaolong. I can't remember any defining moments where they really popped off.
But Elsa popped. I think Elsa had a really great game on that
did,
Diva. He basically was leading his team in kills left and right on almost every map, and didn't die very much either. So he definitely outplayed the Diva on the other side for sure.
What's going on with the Boston Uprising support line?
Who knows? I mean, where is Aim God?
Yeah.
Again, we just keep asking the same question. Brent says he's in a cupboard somewhere. I want to find him, get him out of the cupboard, or at least tell me why he's in the cupboard. Has he been a bad boy? Or does he like the cupboard?
Next to Harry Potter, that's what you said.
What's sorry?
He's next to the turmeric and the paprika. Couple of spices.
Are you just naming spices?
And the
like you just want to flex your herbology knowledge?
And the Vegemite. You put that in the cupboard, right?
So
where does
got it.
Vegemite go?
Yeah,
Got it, yeah. That goes
Why
straight in the
did you
cupboard.
have it in the?
You still have it?
I like to just like nibble on it.
But during the show, I've never
In
seen you
between
nibble
the
on it.
breaks.
You nasty.
Okay.
Yeah, you are.
Ugh. All right, you know someone else was nasty? Oh, segues. On point. The Shanghai Dragons.
I don't know.
Our Stage 3 champions today. We're taking on the Seoul Dynasty to capture their first victory here in Stage 4 under this brand new meta. We saw Young Jin on Doomfist doing his thing. He's one of my favorite guys to watch on Doomfist, by the way. Love it. And yeah, the Shanghai Dragons, they took care of business today.
This team might have the best Pharah, the best Doomfist, and the best Widowmaker. I mean, the Doomfist and Widowmaker are much more arguable, but they've certainly got a very stacked DPS tree.
Potentially Sombra as well.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
Okay,
Really?
well, I mean,
Okay.
sure. Enter
better than
madness
Ding?
at your own risk.
Yeah, I really like the Shanghai Dragons. I have faith in them today to try and take this match for reasons that I detailed in the pre-show, as meaty as they might have been. I think they've got a real formula on their hands as well. With a lot of the heroes they like to play, they're not really succumbing to a lot of the common picks that people are playing, but they've kind of found their own style. They're playing the Farah. Ding gets still flexing a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Gamsu's playing very well. Envy's coming into this lineup now, and he's
Yeah.
playing a very good diva and a serviceable Roadhog as well.
And this is only their second match on this 2-2-2 lock, and I already see a lot of improvement if we compare them to what we saw in the first one. In the first one, it still looked a bit shaky. It looked like they are missing their third DPS in their lineup, but now it really feels like they kind of figured the roles out.
I would say as well, though, it was a huge throw from Seoul not to win on Anubis. I know that we've moved on throughout the map pool, but they managed to take Hollywood, and they certainly could have taken Anubis because they held Shanghai on B completely. We could have been at a 2-2 game or like a 2-1 game coming into Junkertown.
First time they've won Anubis, I think, this season.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. First time they've won Anubis, but they still just got blasted on Hollywood. Obviously, still some holes in the map pool for Shanghai.
But I mean, I came out of a hot take in stage 2 saying Shanghai Dragons were going to win the entirety of the Overwatch League. And looking at them play now, and we're getting closer and closer into stage 4, they're looking like one of the teams that does have it kind of a little bit figured out before a lot of other ones.
Yeah.
And there is a world in which we could be seeing the Shanghai Dragons at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, September 29th. Get your tickets.
Yeah.
I could believe it.
Very, very possible.
Yeah.
I think another little tidbit worth noting in this matchup was we saw some Kikiri on Roadhog, and she
Yeah,
actually
big
looked
time.
really good.
No,
Having
she
not
went
played.
toe-to-toe against Michelle's Roadhog. I really think, like, if we're just looking at the numbers, they were pretty much even throughout the entirety of the match. She hit a lot of really great crucial hooks, and the team followed up really well as well.
I know that Gregory's been practicing a lot of that stuff on Ranked, on
Yeah.
stream, and this kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
You
it
watch
seems...
XQC as well?
yeah. I just keep my eyes glued to these streamers. That's my life. But this is really interesting from Shanghai, actually, because it suggests that on the maps where they're going to play more Roadhog, they're going to bring Gregory in. Like,
Yeah.
this wasn't a useless fourth map or something like
Yeah.
that. They had to tie up the series right then.
Right.
So I think on this map, I mean, what other maps do you play? A bunch of Roadhog. Havana, perhaps, they might run stuff like that.
Right.
I'm not totally sure.
Right. It kind of points out that Shanghai, they do have some depth to them, you know, and that's good to see here in the Overwatch League. But guys, coming up after the break, on the anniversary of our inaugural Grand Finals, the London Spitfire look to stay undefeated on July 28th. Don't go anywhere. Watchpoint is coming right back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
The defending champions from our inaugural season, the London Spitfire, were looking for their second win of the week against the Toronto Defiant, and it all started at Helios, where the Toronto Defiant didn't look too bad going up against our reigning champions.
Yeah, a deceptively close game is how, I believe, who was it posted on Twitter? I don't know why I said that one. I can't even remember the person who posted it. I believe it was God.
Great quoting.
Someone.
I believe it was Gods who posted that. And, I mean, I can tend to agree with him, actually. They came out the gate swinging a little bit. When they took this early map, I was like, oh, here we go. It's a classic London Spitfire choke where they just seem to throw games away that should have been quite easy.
Especially Control.
Yeah, but you can see that Toronto have been actually making improvements. They're going toe-to-toe with one of the better teams in the league right now, London Spitfire, looking like they're steadily heating up as time goes on.
Yeah, I didn't hate it though. I do like that they're experimenting a little bit to see what works for them, having Quartermain in over Nas as well as Guard in instead of Birdring. So they were looking at more dive-heavy comps. That does fit their style technically, in theory. Didn't quite work out on Control. However, I do think that they showed that they got it still on Anubis.
Prophet's definitely got it.
Anubis was a total roll, actually. I mean, Toronto didn't even slightly get into it. So if Gods is saying that it was deceptively close, then presumably he's thinking about Hollywood and Junkertown perhaps. But Junkertown tends to go long no matter what. And actually, Hollywood was kind of a shutout from Spitfire as well. So I don't know. For me, this kind of solidified London as looking like a pretty good team.
Yeah.
No, not particularly.
Championship caliber, can we call them that at this particular juncture?
At this moment, I would tend to agree. Prophet destroyed on this map.
I find it so funny now as well, though. We've moved into a very similar meta to 2018 towards the tail end of it, where you're running like these bunker compositions, double sniper, and Junkertown's back in the pool. A map where when you see these comps, sometimes it comes down to a coin flip, it feels like, with these teams that win. Because one of the Widowmaker players, one of the Hanzo players just starts popping off. Some lesser teams can take it, which is why you tend to see Junkertown going late.
Lesser team.
Just some lesser team.
I love this stat though. Final blows on Hanzo as for Prophet, 32. Of those, 23 were Storm Arrow kills. And I think that says a lot about how Prophet plays. He's not just incredibly mechanically gifted. He's in the right place at the right time. He's using Storm Arrows, an ability where you just tend to spam it. Yeah. But because he's in the right place to pick up those kills, he felt like such a presence. But it's not like he was insanely accurate or just hitting shots out of nowhere. He's just always really intelligent with where he puts himself and how he uses space.
Optimal positioning is what you would say. Yeah. And his shots are on the money, as per usual. Let's move on to our last match of the day. Now, we're not going to really show any highlights from this match because we're a little NSFW. You know, you might want to cover your kids' eyes. It was a bit of a roll from the Titans up against the Florida Mayhem. Haksal. Yeah. Haksal was just amazing in this match. As you can see, as Genji and as May, he produced some pretty good numbers.
Haksal continues to astound me. Honestly, every time we see it, this comes up all the time. But the fact that a player can have such an impact in 2016 and still continue it and still be such a phenomenal player is one of the most impressive aspects to me, honestly, about this guy. There's so many players. They came up in 2016, and they just dropped off the face of the earth. But Haksal remains relevant.
I thought this Dragon Blade was going to get beefed, and then he finds 3 kills out at the end
Absurd.
of it just by,
It's his awareness. I don't understand. I don't think any other player manages to know so precisely where every one of the opponents is at the moment where he hits his Dragon Blade. He turns around in angles which make no sense, as if he has like a set of eye in the back ready.
But he also knows the spacing as well. Like, you'll notice some of these blade kills, he's getting them on the maximum range of the blade swing, which takes hours and hours of practice. Like, this is a guy who has honed his craft.
3 years of practice.
3
years of practice.
An estimate of 3 years on average.
Yeah, look at that as well, 3 in 1. And there was a lot of talk recently about Haksal being overrated on Genji and stuff like that.
That's
don't
overrated.
even slightly believe it. I mean, this guy is the best Genji in the world until proven otherwise.
Yeah, that's a good point about the spacing, man. Sometimes I'm like, he's hitting with just the tip. He's still getting it. How's that even happen, man?
Gives him the tip.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice. Well, guys, those Dragon Blades were sick. But were they the sickest? We'll break down all the best moments of the day after the break. Don't go anywhere. More Watchpoint coming up.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
I freaking love that song, man. Give whoever made that a Grammy.
It's one of the best.
Make that my ringtone. I want to make that my ringtone. Anyways, guys, let's go into our over-the-top moments of the day. The flexing dragons here. We did this at the top of the show. Now you know why.
There you go. There you go. Oh,
Yeah.
snuck that one in, didn't you? Production, very sneaky.
Oh, they threw it in.
Looking kind of clean, to be
Kind
honest.
of clean, though.
Ours is
Yeah,
the
we nailed
cleanest.
that.
We did it the cleanest, I think. I think
Oh, yeah.
personally. Man.
DM looks like a T-Rex when he does it.
He actually does.
Yo, stop. All right, moving along. Yeah,
the
show it
Danny
one more
just
time for
walked
good
off
measure. That's how you do it. That's how it's done, guys. All right, moving along. Bumper's balls. He was killing it, guys. This Bumper,
Excuse me?
Yeah, Bumper's balls, man.
his wrecking ball play, all the wrecking ball boops that he had, the ball boops, they were good.
Bumper
Yeah.
balls 2K boops. That's how you call it. That's all I
Show the
like to
next
see.
one.
All right, moving on. Color Hex clicking heads like a retractable pin. I love it.
He was phenomenal at some points in this series, like showing the signs that I wanted to see the other day when they were playing against Philadelphia. But I mean, goodness me, not
This guy is also the full package. We
Yeah,
saw him
he
on
is,
McCree,
yeah.
we saw him on Widowmaker. He's got a good Genji and a
Great
very good
Pharah,
Pharah
yeah.
as well. He is the full package. He just needs some development and work and the team to be good around him.
I want to see him in some Widow 1v1s. He's good. He's good at it. All right, moving along, we had Envy with a crazy hook on Genji, who was halted, man.
real.
Oh, man. Poor Illicit.
my word.
Get over
Just
it.
shut down.
Yeah.
Excuse me, could I have a word with you, please?
Back to my office, please.
Get over here. Lovely.
Well, that's a
And
fourth, my
last but
best
not
find,
least,
I think.
this had to be number one. Hoxel's Dragon Blaze. There were so many. And again, you
So
might want to cover your kids'
many.
eyes for this one.
Honestly, I felt like the entire series was just a highlight reel of Foxel playing Genji. I can't even recall anything else happening.
He set the league record for most Dragon Blade kills for 10 minutes in a match. He was just
But,
farming the Florida man.
Why male models?
What?
Why male models?
That really is the question whenever I watch Hacks.
Little Zoolander reference at the bottom. You
That was good. I
don't
got
watch
it. I
enough
caught it.
films.
I caught it.
You're having a stroke.
That's why they call him Young Hawk. I'm
Oh,
gonna
man.
start calling him Young Hawk and Slash. He's
TJ.
great. Anyways, guys, coming up after the break, we've got a special Power Rankings preview from the one and only Reinforce. More Watchpoint coming up.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Sinatra instantly over and controlled the point.
Here it is. Flash going to drop in. There was no trick open to save them. It's 4. Yep. Flanner knew where he had to be, and Trick Open looks around with dismay. You can't be everywhere at once, but someone had to stop the barrage with a nano boost. It was never going to happen.
For a big fight.
Yeah, looking for the shot, misses on the Violet. An absolutely crucial pick if he can find it. Full hog from Youngjin though. He just take down Rascal, now pushes up, looks for Super. And they will be able to find that pick. Youngjin's going to be pulled in. Wraps around, he does the 180 hook on the block.
It's always good.
It's all like we just saw. Valiant wasting no time and jumping right back in there for the aggression. Great move on the Goose Wave. Send into the team, but they've got the grab. Oh man, we've seen that one before. And that is going to be a 4K with the Dragon Strike. With so much fighting close up. Oh, are you kidding me? An amplification matrix already, and here comes San Francisco. What a shatter! Oh, they don't call the shock for nothing, man. Come in at the last moment. Lupi line it up, Coma on the Moira now. Here comes DM. The EMP could be the difference maker. Gets it off, and there's the ding with the barrage. EMP barrage will deliver.
Every week on OverwatchLeague.com, our buddy Reinforce reveals where the 20 Overwatch League teams stand in his power rankings. With the introduction of the new 222 Rollock, we figured it would be great to have him on to give us a little preview of what he's got in store for us this week. So, welcome to the show, the one and only Johnny, aka Reinforce. What's up, bro?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thunderous applause.
We got it.
All right. So let's go ahead and dive right in, man. So,
Well, I need to see the rankings first.
Oh yeah. Do we want to see the rankings? We have half of the rankings.
we have.
Just
Half?
for you guys. Just
Why
for you guys.
just half of the rankings?
Well, because you have to read it on Wednesdays as well.
Hasn't wrote the rest of it
Oh,
yet.
He wants
jeez.
Question marks. Question marks.
Oof.
Oh, okay. Lots of question marks here.
What
All
do we
right.
think of this?
Can you run me through some of the reasoning behind like why you've revealed these teams?
Because I think that I want to leave some spice in there, you know, like who's going to be top 3, of course. It's not going to be New York Excelsior, so who's going to take that spot, of course. Where does Seoul Dynasty place in this? London Spitfire? There's many openings here. There's a lot of good teams right now in the league, I feel like, with Rollock, but there's only so many spots in the top 10. 10 spots, actually.
That is
to be
100% true.
precise.
So can you run me through why you have New York the 8th place?
Yeah, that is the controversial pick, right? But I think we all agree that New York Excelsior have a lot of potential on their roster, going back all the way to last year, of course, but you can't really rank them based on their potential. At some point, it has to give, and they didn't perform well in the Stage 3 playoffs, and then they lost to the LA Gladiators this week, so I feel like you can't really rate them based on Jonak being the league MVP from last year anymore, and they haven't really figured out the meta, it feels like. They sub in Sabiolbi, and then sometimes it's Nene, and I feel like they just haven't really found their groove so far in the Rollock, so I want to see more from them before I rate them higher.
I think an interesting question about that as well, though, is transitive property, they would be worse than Houston right now, right? Because they lost Gladiators and Gladiators lost to Houston. It doesn't really work like that, right?
Yeah.
But
For Bren, it does.
How I do all my
Bring it
rankings and decision making.
But I think perhaps even like just judging from what we've seen so far, that might, like, number 8 might even feel a bit high for New York.
You think so?
No.
You can't. Well, I mean,
That depends on those question marks.
that's math. Yeah.
I come on this desk to be spicy, and you just end up way more spicy than me.
I do agree. Actually, I do agree with your kind of lower placement of New York because it's like a week by week basis. Completely agree the fact that they shouldn't be at the top, shouldn't be considered near the top despite their standing. So, I mean, fair play. All right, you came for the spice, and we're all agreeing with you. So,
All right. All right, well, let me tell you what I don't think is spicy. You got the Shock and the Titans at 1 and 2. Like, they're still up there, even though they've been pretty much challenged
now that
so far.
Here, what do they say?
Hear ye.
Hear ye. Don't take away my
Order.
sponsorship. But that I will argue because I feel like the it's still so early to kind of I guess put them up there. You know, I don't think they've been tested as much compared to a lot of these other teams.
Yeah, but they've been so dominant all season, and so
So that's why you're putting them up there.
Part of it.
New York have been dominant this season.
Partly because they
also
have
lost.
such amazing talent. They are arguably the best coach in the league. They've been in the grand finals for 3 stages in a row, and I feel like with the potential on this roster, you can't really just rate them lower because you have question marks surrounding their tank line or them playing on control with Architect and Striker, etc. So I feel like you can't really undermine them and rank them lower until they've actually started to underperform in the league.
Why drop them down before they losing a match?
See,
Just
so
because
he
you're
gets me.
questioning
So he
their
gets me.
potential?
I just-
Like, thank you. Come on here.
I'm looking at it. I feel like we're so early on into this new meta. Everything's in flux right now, and there's definitely a possibility where Shock haven't been tested by some of the stronger teams that we might not look at, right?
Sure, it's true.
Yeah, but
I'm-
until they lose after being tested, you can't really be thrown them.
All right, so we're talking about teams not really getting tested. The biggest question mark for me, apart from all of the question marks that are literally in your power rankings, is the LA Valiant.
Yeah,
they
I get
played
that.
1 game this week, Johnny, and they beat Paris 3-2. And
Yeah.
yet they're at number 6, was it? Something like that?
And I'm just going to let your opinion hang for a bit there because I feel like it's a very good point. So we'll give it some breathing room.
Well, the
Yeah,
audience
it's a very
is
good
loving
point.
this.
Very good point, George. Very good point, George. We want to emphasize on that. But I do like to rate Valiant higher because I feel like the Paris Eternal in Stage 4 is a bit of a tougher test than they have been the rest of the season. Soon and Shadowburn came out in full force as a DPS duo, and they performed really well, in my opinion. This is a Paris Eternal that beat the Houston Outlaws on the first day this stage. So this is actually a Paris that, to me, seems like they're actually pretty good. They're not in my top 10, but I still feel like they're pretty good.
Spoiler.
And so I feel like the LA Valiant, beating them even in map 5, I feel like it's a bit of a true test for them, and I feel like it's justified looking at this roster. I mean, you have Kariv on Ana, Shax is a fantastic Sombra, Space is back in the lineup.
Yes.
We haven't mentioned that enough. Space is back in the lineup, one of the best off-tanks in the league. He was one of the best off-tanks in the league before, you know, he got filtered out because of the triple DPS compositions. But I feel like this is a team that is on the rise, and we always underestimate the LA Valiant. So I just said, I'm sorry, Valiant fans. Or actually, yeah, thank you, Valiant fans. I actually have to rate you higher. I actually have to rate you higher this time around because I always underrate you.
Also, on top of everything he just said, he really hoped that the LA crowd is going to stick around for his big reveal. So that was really unlucky.
Someone here.
I mean, even with Shax not really turning up as well. I mean, that to me is just a big thing. What do you think about the weird little fiesta we've had with a bunch of the Chinese teams? Like Guangzhou played Philly, and then Chengdu played Philly, and they all were kind of around the same point, but none of them have really interacted with the rest of the league. It's like a weird little circle of mess.
I mean, I'm just trying to do simple math in my head right now, and it just feels like you're saying Philadelphia is bad.
Yes, I do actually think that Philadelphia isn't that great. And
Well,
I
there's
expect
two of
them
us.
to be, yeah.
Oh,
Right.
But I do
agreed,
think that,
agreed.
I do think that Guangzhou are, though. I do think that Guangzhou could genuinely be a good team.
Oh, yeah,
I think I would
absolutely.
have them in my top 10.
I've been hearing people saying that they think that they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Potential for it there.
Yeah.
Rio's been impressing. I think they've got fantastic. Happy. We're leaning more into more Widowmaker play. Like, we're all in agreement today.
All right, could you give us a quick
It's a
spoiler?
good day to be on the desk.
Are the Charge in your top 10? Or do
The
we have...
Charge are in my top 10.
All right.
Oh, it's like
All right, small little spoiler there.
dating show or something.
Well, yo, Reinforce. Thank you so much for previewing your power
I'll get it
rankings
right.
here. We got a little bit of a spoiler there, a little bit of a preview. And guys, if you want to check out his full list, make sure to head on over to overwatchleague.com every Wednesday to see where the 20 teams land.
Before I leave the desk,
Yeah.
can I just give a shout out to Maverick for returning once more? Bit of an inside joke, but I wanted to give him a shout out. So
There you
thank you
go.
very much. Go on, Malik.
Yeah, thank
End the show. Thank you.
Who's the Maverick?
All right.
We have so many questions.
I want to be in on this inside
Do
joke
that.
after we go off air. Let me know what's going on. But guys, before we get out of here, let's take a quick look at our Twitch cheer leaderboard. Johnny, since you're here, why don't you do the honors, man?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I've dreaded this. Atlanta Rain, #1 with 4.9 million bits. Changsha Spark, single place, 3.9 million. I don't have to do all 10, do I?
No.
Shanghai Dragons top 10 anyway.
Honestly,
That's pretty
it's
good.
going to get exciting at some point because Hangzhou are going to break the 4 million barrier, and I'm
Oh,
going to
wow.
lose my mind.
Is that exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. Changsha Spark. Keep up the good work.
Yeah,
That's the fans, really.
Yeah, the fans. Keep up the good work.
in our individual leaderboard, go ahead.
Oh, we got actually Raisin 2048, #4. Good job on getting #4. Mama Shimada, #5. We have Ixi at #10. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Lakush Bobby at #6. Lakush Bobby at #6. Good job, Lakush Bobby. Thank you so much for the bits.
Yeah.
Is that enough? Do I have to?
You
Is that
killed
enough?
it. No,
Killed
it was beautiful.
John, you murdered that, bro. Thank you.
I was a bit nervous about this coming on here, but
No, you
I
earned
know,
this
bro. You
Coca-Cola.
did it, bro. It's everyone's favorite part of the show, and you just killed it, man. You knocked it out of the park. But guys, speaking of Twitch, be sure to get that Overwatch League All Access Pass because coming up right after Watchpoint, you won't want to miss the live Q&A with the sniper himself, Color Hex from the Boston Uprising, exclusively with that All Access Pass on Twitch. And before we get out of here, I want to pivot real quick because on Twitter, Tavik says something, your Team Sweeten teammate says something. He said that he believes that Monkey Ball Reaper dive into bunker will win a game, and he was calling it. This was before
When was
Stage
this?
4 even started.
Was it 2016?
No, this wasn't, this was last week before we started Stage 4. Now, he said at him if it did happen, and I don't think it really that fully happened. We haven't seen Monkey Ball Reaper going into bunker and being successful, or at least I haven't. Have you guys?
No, we haven't really seen Monkey Ball being used as much as I thought it would be.
No, but we have seen Reaper. So, Tavik, I'm not going to at you, but I am going to say good job for at least calling out the Reaper being back in the meta because I didn't believe it when I read it, and here he is. So,
shout out to my boy.
shout out to Tavik for
This
that.
really, it's a pity that he's not playing for the Mayhem because this really should be his meta. You know,
He's a May Reaper specialist.
Yeah, May Reaper. That was where he was the best.
He might
Johnny,
just
it's your
know.
meta as
He
well.
might just know what the season playoffs meta is.
They're missing out. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us here on Watchpoint. Thanks again to Reinforce for joining us. We'll see you all on Thursday for some more amazing Overwatch action. Enjoy the week, everybody.
Many times.
Many.